Thanks for joining us again, everybody. We're going to give you a mid-morning update on the ExtraGive. We're super excited as to where we are so far this year. We're closing in on $3,000, and it's only around 10 a.m. So we've got another 14 hours of time that people can give to this event. Our goal here is to at least beat last year, which was just under $8,000. So we're shooting for $8,000 or more this year during the ExtraGive. Big project that you've seen us highlight a lot this year. We started with this T-shirt around World Turtle Day, and we raised enough money to purchase 3 radio trackers. And then our partner, the Center for Technology and Nature Conservation in Vietnam, purchased a whole bunch of other trackers, and starting in late September, we started getting some trackers out on animals. And so you've seen some pictures of that around on social media. And so that's just one example of how your donations through various different means help help positively impact turtles and tortoises. So we've got the podcast crew with us. Minto might make an appearance. Emily and Anthony, real quick, how's the conference going?
Man.
Oh, so much fun.
It's been amazing. I mean, as always, but I feel like the energy and even the amount of people here is more than usual.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Everyone's so inviting too and very friendly.
I just got back from a morning run. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm dressed like I'm going to rob a bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we're social distancing. I'm as far as I could be.
Yeah, that's true. There are smells. Yeah. But there are a couple people here. It's become a little tradition now that we go for a little jog around Mesa. We're at the Turtle and Tortoise Preservation Group, TTPG's annual conference on the captive husbandry and breeding of turtles and tortoises. And it's been just awesome. I spoke yesterday. Kevin Minto spoke yesterday. Emily's here for the first time.
Yeah.
Today, our friend Mark DeSilva speaks for the first time. Chris Lekowitz spoke yesterday, who's a real friend of ours who we've seen on the podcast. It's been just awesome. Kev, come say hi. Kev's sneezing on himself.
Slight cough. Hi, everybody.
What's up, brother?
Thank you so much, Steve.
Love to see you, man.
Listen, I haven't left my house in 9 years, and I came all the way here just to get on this chat, and I'm committing at least $50. I'm going to see how much money I spend today. Might be 100, who knows. But if you can help out, you really should. This is the best opportunity to give back to the animals that you care so much about. And I miss you guys on the podcast. I was saying
Amen, brother.
how good it was that I put this on today, not even knowing this was happening.
Hey.
Isn't that great?
Love it.
One of us. One of us.
This is awesome.
Yeah, so quick details for some folks out there. So this is an event that's run through a major community organization in our home county of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And so there are several major sponsors, and there's something they call the Stretch Fund. And for each unique donor that participates, we get a bigger piece of that Stretch Fund. And so it's not about total donations for match. It's about the number of people who participate. So last year, we had 91 unique donors. And so we'd love to see more of that this year. So even if you can only pitch in the $10, the extra unique donor really helps us out in that stretch pool area. There's also a number of prizes that are available during different time frames. So I've got that link scrolling down at the bottom, as well as the main link to our ExtraGive giving page. Check out when those prizes are occurring. If you want to try to win one of those prizes for the Turtle Room, go for it. We encourage that. Plan your donations that way if you want. I know some folks last year, they gave like $10 a piece during like 5 different prize windows to try to maximize option chances to prizes. So that's another strategy some folks have taken. Anthony and Emily, what does the Turtle Room mean to you guys? Like, I know it's been a big impact on your lives as well as the animals. And so like, why don't you guys just talk about that real quick?
I'll go first.
Definitely.
So I think that it was kind of life-changing, life-altering, completely changed the trajectory of where I was going. I think that I've always kind of just identified myself as an animal person, but over the past few years, being a part of the Turtle Room has really made me a lot more of a turtle person. And I find now that when I'm looking for, it's the Turtle Room is making its way into my life in tiny ways. Like if I'm looking for apparel, I'm looking for stuff with turtles on it now. If I'm looking for organizations to support, I'm looking for turtle organizations to support. And when I go to zoos, I want to see all of the turtles. So it's changing my way in a lot of small ways, but overall in a big way, if that makes sense.
I could cry hearing
Love
you say
it. Love it.
right. I think back to like when we were talking to you and getting you involved and just like, I don't know, she does falconry and venomous snakes, and she's like the most gangster lady I've ever met. I don't know if she's going to want to do turtles with us, but I'm going to just like give it a shot and see if she'd be willing to work with us at all. And now she's becoming a turtle person. It's insane. My life is not real. Yeah. And along those lines, I'll just like the turtle room gave me an opportunity to have an identity I could really be proud of, especially after being an athlete and then having that part of my life end as I started to get older and couldn't do what I used to do. Let's just say I didn't really jog around Mesa this morning. I kind of waddled and limped around Mesa with a few of my friends who were in much better shape than me. But it gave me an opportunity to, to have that email signature that said, wow, I'm doing something special. I'm part of something special, even when we started and we weren't really doing it yet. But now you look up and say, oh my gosh, we're really supporting Institute projects in different countries, on different continents, stuff here within the US, amazing biologists and legitimate heroes that work so hard to save these animals, and we support that. How amazing is that? And then, I just think, Steve, last time you and I were together, we were speaking at the TSA, the symposium on the biology and conservation of turtles and tortoises. And it was amazing to be able to, at that conference, represent a little bit more of the private keeper's voice. And then here, I was able to speak yesterday with an amazing group at TTPG that's doing amazing work, another nonprofit that we love and partner with as much as we can. And to talk to them about the other side of that coin, which is, hey guys, the private keeper needs to try to be better if they want to be a part of actually conserving and saving species. So, and using science to back that up. And Steve, that was all stuff that came from you and your talk at TSA. So it's all connected. And when I think back to the beginning of the turtle room and what we were trying to do, we wanted to try to bridge the gap, reach across the aisle, work with people, because if you're really going to save animals, it's going to take working with people. And that's what the turtle room means to me. And that's what I'm so proud of when I think back of, the 15 years that we've been doing what we do.
It's been a wild ride. I mean, your career has completely changed since we began this together too. And I think there's a piece of the turtle room and kind of that trajectory change. And, you aren't the only one, that's been part of our organization to have kind of some of that happen, which is kind of fun too. I've always enjoyed the people part of the nonprofit saving turtles as much as the turtle part. And so it's really cool to see just the growth of us as people and the organization all together over this long time. And so what things have you been most
I want to add something too.
Yeah, I mentioned yesterday during my talk, there are larger turtle organizations that have large staff, especially by our standards. But then the TTPG and the Turtle Room, we are completely volunteer organizations. So to me, I always felt like there's an opportunity there for people who will get involved to not only help save species from going extinct, but also to build their resume in the process, right? And move on to paid roles and that sort of thing. And we have a lot of people out there that have done that, but that was something I talked about that is, a struggle for smaller organizations like us and the TTPG to, sometimes people get involved and they're like, wow, it doesn't move that fast. It's tough. But what's great about these small organizations is that a dollar goes a really long way. And a lot of the places where we are supporting conservation on the ground, the dollar goes a really, really long way. Those radio trackers for Cora pictorata that you were mentioning, that's a species that's just not studied. We don't know anything, and they're about to go extinct in the wild. So there's such an opportunity there. Hey, Greg, there's such an opportunity there to really support, and the dollar goes a long way with these smaller organizations. It just means so much. Emily, sorry about that.
No, and something that I wanted to add about the turtle room too, and how it's changed me is this is going to sound so cheesy, but it's kind of going off of what you said, Steve, is that there's a really big sense of community here, and I knew I had to mention it because I know that's one of your favorite words, Anthony, as well. And it's a really big sense of collaboration, and not collaboration in just the networking professional way, but in also the friendship way. So collaborating with people and just making those friendships is another thing that's been brought into my life by the turtle room. So
awesome. Yeah. I James is watching at breakfast. He's probably at the conference watching it on his phone. This is
I
awesome.
just saw him a few minutes ago.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us, James and Greg. So, along with what Anthony and Emily have mentioned there as well, like we're always looking for people who might want to do some of those like less heralded parts of the nonprofit and build a career for themselves out of that too. So if you're interested in a career in like development and grants or things like that, like we have a place where you could get experience and build yourself a new career, for example. And so in addition to saving the turtles, it's another opportunity with the Turtle Room. And so we love training the next generation. We've built into young people a lot. Michael Skibstead, who started the event off for us at midnight last night, he's been connecting with the Turtle Room since he was like 12, watching videos. And I met him at his first TSA conference a decade ago. And now he's essentially one of the biggest young names in turtle conservation. And so we love, just building into individuals for their growth as well in this field. So quick rundown of some things, and Michael and I covered some of these things. But so we've got the Cora Pictorata project, work that support that we've given is still in active projects in Cote d'Ivoire and we started the AXE programs for captive husbandry stuff this year. And Anthony has shown up everywhere and anywhere turtle people have been meeting to give talks. And so that's part of our education and outreach as well. And so the money that comes in to the Turtle Room, now we need, there are expenses in just running an organization, there are expenses in fundraising, but half of the money that comes into the Turtle Room goes directly towards programs. And another big chunk of it goes towards raising more money, which is important, right? It's not like we can't participate in this type of event without getting essentially prepared financial statements done, for instance. So that's a cost, but that cost recoups its value 2 to 3-fold for us every year, just in this event alone, much less applying for grants and all this other stuff where having that financial review is important. So your money goes a long way with the Turtle Room. 30 cents of every dollar, it basically goes towards field programs in some way, whether it's wood turtles, whether it's Cora Pictorata, whether it's the Kinexis that have been out in Cote d'Ivoire. We don't talk about this one a lot. At one point, we donated a tattoo gun to another organization so they can mark soft shell turtles they were studying. So a little simple way we can pitch in, help an organization go after research. Anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, I'll just add, a lot of the funds too go towards the education piece, because we can't conserve and preserve animals unless we are educating the people involved. If people don't care about an animal, it's not a good thing. Or if they're ambivalent or worse than ambivalent and they dislike an animal or feel like an animal is a nuisance. Like if I have to hear about a snapping turtle eating ducks again, when the species 70% of their diet is aquatic plants, I think, when these animals are misunderstood, that can be a really dangerous thing too. So the education piece is so important, and that really does mean a lot. And I know Steve mentioned I've been on the trail a lot this year, and it's starting to hurt. It's painful how much I've been traveling and how many people, but how many people I've been able to meet, how many hands I've been able to shake, how many people have inspired me, and maybe there's a couple people out there that I've inspired throughout all that travel. It's all worth it, because ultimately the animals are the ones that win, and that's what it's all about. Yeah, and for those out there wondering, the education programs, that's over our 3-year average, that's about 17% of our budget goes directly towards education programs, and so that's a third of our program's cost essentially. So it's something we've always valued. We've got the podcast, we've got the Colonia Cast, we show up at conferences. Whether it's me, Anthony, Emily, the Connecticut Turtle Society kind of fits under that these days. And that was another thing that Anthony and Emily and Kevin and Mark, who's presenting at TTPG today, all helped get off the ground. And so that's one of the Turtle Room's other efforts that maybe less heralded, kind of like our work, providing infrastructure for other organizations. It's a little less heralded, but it's an important piece of the puzzle. I appreciate you for that. You're so good.
Yeah.
You're so good. this is just good leadership. You make me feel good, make us feel good for what we're trying to do, and it means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the collaboration piece. But the other piece too, when we talk about those percentages, we are a very small organization. We don't bring in a ton of money every year, and so those percentages are small because there are things that there are operational costs like the website. We have a very nice website. That sort of stuff will become a much smaller percentage of all of that too. So if we could bring in some donations here, then all of that becomes a smaller portion of what we go to. Again,
Right.
No one here within the Turtle Room gets paid a penny for what they do. So there's no overhead for the dozens of people that have worked on Turtle Room initiatives, much like the TTPG, the great organization is putting on the content that we're at today.
And to be honest, we'd love to eventually get there, right? Where we're hiring some staff to help make sure that we can continue to make a bigger impact. But right now there's no staff overhead. We're all doing it on our own time. And, but there's room to grow. There's room to have that stuff created. I want to thank real quick. I want to thank Joe Goodson, who joined our team officially about a year ago and has done a great job helping with our communications. He's done just an excellent job. And so several of you received those emails, throughout the year and see our social posts. And so I just want to thank him for all he's been doing, and our development director, Kaylin Cranmer, who helps make sure ExtraGive gets set up for us each year. We can't do those are you cannot save turtles without the development and communications people, right? And that's where we honestly need the most help going forward. The better we can communicate, the better we can bring in funding, the more we can do with turtles. And it's pretty easy to want to be like the Mr. Adventure out in the field, but those key roles in the background, like the TSA, the TC, the Turtle Room, nobody exists without those things and those people with those skills. And so I just want to thank Joe and Kaylin for all they've done over the past year to build the organization through those communications.
They're absolutely heroes. Joe sent me a proof for something that he wanted to put out, a message he wanted to put out about the presenting things that we're trying to do on the road here to try to save turtles and educate their well-being and their future on the planet. And it was so well written, and I'm just and I tend to nitpick a little bit with some, I'm just it's perfect. And I'm the type of person, I want to find something so I can give you some feedback. Feedback is a gift. I have no feedback. I mean, these are such talented people that could do some amazing things. And it has been the biggest need for our organization. So to see it happen is just amazing. And we've got Greg is in Thailand in a tiny bathroom. Greg, I love you so much. And then we have someone joining from Florida. Thank you so much. It's amazing.
Any last things? I gotta get ready for my next class to come in. So I'm still at work. This is my planning period. You all know I'm a high school teacher. So, back to the other part of the coin, here in just a few minutes. So
I'll just say thank you. Thank you to everyone. The fact that the donations were already coming in this morning, it's absolutely amazing. It feels so good because, we work so hard sometimes, and it can feel thankless at times. And sometimes you step back and you say, you feel like it's so daunting, the world that we've decided to live in here, in turtle conservation and advocacy. So you step back and you say, is it really making a difference? But days like today, where we're here at this amazing conference with so many amazing people that really do care, and days like today where we see a few donations coming in, it just feels like validation for all the hard work that we do and all the important things that we care about that really are just the most important thing in the world to nerds like us.
Awesome. Yeah. Amen.
And thank you to all of our supporters so far, all of the past, present, and future. And for those of you, I know right now, this time around the holidays is a really challenging time for people, and there's a lot of money going out the door and a lot of organizations who are asking for your support. If you can't support us today, you can also just share this post, share this with other people. And when you're looking for ideas for Christmas gifts, maybe get them on a calendar to help support us in that way. And just sharing our message would just help us. If you can't give us anything monetarily, just your support is enough.
Yeah,
that's why we She's smart.
Yeah, and we're going to have another option coming up soon for those of you who might even be looking for Christmas gifts for somebody that could also support conservation that way. So stay tuned for that. Before we sign off, let me give everybody a real quick update. While we've been on, we've picked up a few more donations, and so we're now over $3,000 for the day, which means we're 37.5% towards our minimum goal for the day. We've had 30 unique donors. So on average, a donor's averaging around $100 so far today. We don't expect that, right? Even $10 helps. I think that's ExtraGive's minimum because of fees and stuff. So if all you can afford is $10, that's okay. Every single donation goes beyond the $10 because we get a little bit more from that stretch pool, right? And so we won't know what we get from the stretch pool till the whole event's over at the end. But, you know, every little bit counts. So we're up to 30 unique donors today, $3,005, and we've got another 13 and a half hours left of the event. So I'm going to run this to replay, right? So some other people will catch it, but you know, I'm going to try to run another one of these in a few hours to give you another quick update. But thanks for joining us, everybody. We appreciate your support today, tomorrow, yesterday. We thank you for your community and appreciation.
Totally.
Thank
you.
you.
Love you all. For the turn.